Hi everyone. Today we'll go over Django and Heroku and Bitbucket and how they can integrate together and do a continuous integration and deployment on Heroku so that by the end of this tutorial you will have every detail that you need to deploy your app on Heroku. It's very straightforward. I'm going to share this link with you as well as all the details. So first thing what we need is we need a repository on Bitbucket. So go to your Bitbucket. So your Bitbucket should look something like this. And once you go there, go create and click on the repository. Give it one of the project if you want and give it a name. I'm going to give it as CSCI 485. And once you do that, you can make it as a private repo and create the repo. So what we'll do is we'll call it as test app and then give it private repo. You can give it a readme with the template if you want, and the default is main. Do you want to get ignored? Yes. You can click on advanced settings if you want to do anything, and let's say you want to search something and then put Python here, create the repo. So meanwhile, I'll open my terminal, so it will take some time for the terminal to load. So your repo is created with some quick README file, and this is your simple repo. So what the article is saying is we have to clone the repo and then go inside that repo. So that's exactly what we'll do. Go to clone and copy this command. So once you copy that, go to your terminal. I'm going to clear this and do a git and cd csci 485, and now I can do a source venv bin activate to activate the virtual environment that I've done. So once I activate the virtual environment, what I'll do is paste this clone command, copy, paste it. So this will clone my app there, and I can come here and say, what is my password? So you can enter your password. So my password is wrong here. So like I said, you can go and use your password. Because it's a private repo, it's going to ask your password. And one more option that you can do is go to your niche 40 and personal settings. You can create an app password here. So I am going to create an app password here and give all the permission and create a password. So you can give a label as for test app, and then I'm going to give every permission that is required for it. So meanwhile, you can give all the permission that you needed. So there we go. I'm going to give everything, and accordingly you can give whatever permission you want, and then you can click on create. So once it's created, I'll copy that password, and now I'm going to delete this password. So I'll pause the video and create a password. You can do the same. So it's the same process. Go to your Bitbucket personal settings on the right bottom, come down, and you can see that there is something called as app password. Go there, create the app password, give it a name. For me it is test app, and then start giving everything that you want. So give all these details like this, and once this is done, you can click on create. I'm going to pause and create it. Once you copy the password, you can paste that password here in this field, and your repo will be cloned. Now if I do a ls here, you can see that I have my test app here, right? Let's cd into test app and do a ls here. Everything is there. So go back here. So the next command is creating Django project. So Django admin start project will call it exactly the same, my site, and then do a python manage.py start app polls. So this will take about a few seconds, and once that is done, python manage.py start app polls is the same app that we are trying to do. And when you do a ls, it's saying that manage.py is missing. So the reason for that is your manage.py might be inside my site. Exactly. So go inside my site, cd, and now do a manage.py start app polls. And you can see all this created for you, URLs and all the URLs. So what we'll do is we will do this python manage.py run server, because we are already know that how to create a Django project. Now we are going to run it and host it on Heroku. So this is going to take some time for it to turn on and start running it. So all the system checks are done. Click on this and you will see that Django has worked successfully. So your app is running. So your local deployment is correct. Now our next part is to go and do these kind of files, right? So go here, stop your command, and then keep copying these commands. Copy, do a pip freeze into requirement.txt, as well as do echo of the runtime environment. My runtime is different, so I am going to do that. If you see this, my requirements.txt is inside this folder, so make sure it's in outside folder. So go back a folder and then you can put whatever your Python version is. Just type your Python minus 3.9.5. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm also going to do pip freeze requirement.txt again, and 3.9.5 is my runtime environment, and we can basically copy this particular command into a file called proc file. If you want, you can open your VS Code and do all this. I will show you exactly how to do that so that you get an experience of doing it on a VS Code. So this will open your application on VS Code. So you see that your requirements.txt file has all the requirements required. Your runtime has your Python version, and now create a new file, proc file, right? So if you go here, it will say the file name is proc, P-R-O-C, F-I-L-E, unicorn, what is the directory, what is the folder, and simply copy paste this. Once that is done, you have to push the changes. So go to your Git and git add all, go to your commit and do your commit, your first commit, and go to your origin master. And in this, it is not master, my branch is main. So go to main and click. It's asking for the password. So make sure you save the password and you put your password. I'm going to pause now. So git push origin main, put your password, and you must have been able to push your app to the main. So you can go to your test app, refresh it, and see that your changes are made there. Yes, all your changes are present here. You have your proc file, you have your requirements, you have your runtime. Go to this article. I'm going to send you this article as well as the links. Now you have to do it is create a bitbucket.yaml file. Do that. Go here, create a file, and it's called bitbucket.yaml file. And once you do that, create a Heroku application. Heroku, you can simply go to heroku.com, sign up on the right hand side. You can sign up with your free account. To create a free account, make sure you have created a free account. I have an account, so I will log in. So once you log in, you can basically create your account and log in, and just so basically once you log in, you will get a verification code on your phone, because I have set for that verification. So each time that code will change, so make sure that you have it. And once you do that, you will come into a dashboard like this, and you have to go to new and create a new app and give an app name. I'm going to call that as test app 1, or let's call it test app CSCI 485. This is available, and call the region. I'm going to leave it as the region as US. If you go here, you will see that that's what is being done, and then you have to go to account settings and get the API key copied locally. So what we'll do it is we'll create the app. So now your app is created, and once you do that, all your information is here. Your access, activity, metrics, deployment, everything is here, whatever you want. And if you want more information, that's also here. So go here, account settings. In your account settings, there are many things, and you can copy this, and that's exactly what it's saying. So it's going to copy this, right? This is your account setting. You have to copy that. You have to copy, go to your accounts here, account settings, and scroll down to the bottom and copy this API key. I'm going to pause it and copy it. I have copied the key. So once you copy it, go to your Bitbucket, and in your Bitbucket, it will tell you that you have to go to repository settings and repository variables. So in your Bitbucket, go to repository settings and scroll down. You will see that there is something called as repository variables here. Click that. So pipelines must be enabled before you can add repositories. So go there. So click that and enable the pipelines. So right now it's asking me two-step verification is required. So we can do that two-step verification and enable this. So let's see where we can do that. So two-step verification is here. We can do all of this. Basically, you can download Authy for Android or Microsoft Authenticator, and you have to scan this and then add the verification code here. So what I'm going to do is I have Authy on my system, and now I'm going to scan this particular URL or the QR code. So once the QR code is scanned properly, it will be able to read that particular code, or you can use any kind of key, use this key and then enable the authentication. So I have enabled the authentication. So now there will be a verification code that will be put, and this code is going to change every time. So make sure you enable your two-step authentication. Now go back to your repository. This is my repo, test app, and go to repository settings, go to repository variables. You will see that you have to enable the pipeline. Go there, enable the pipeline. It takes a while for it to enable, so just pause. So it will send an email and you have to click on the email link to enable the code. Make sure your two-step verification is enabled here, which is enabled right now. Go to your repositories, go to your application, and then from there you can go to your repo settings, and in your repo setting go to your repository variables and enable your pipeline here. So for that you can simply enable it right now. So once that is that, you can configure this. We are doing it. So meanwhile you can go to the repository variables again, and now you can add a variable here. So let's go back here and see what is the, so this is your API key and your app name. These are the two things that you have to fill. So that will be available for you, which is your API key. So copy this API key and give it a name, Heroku API key. Go here and Heroku underscore API underscore key and give the value, whatever the value is, and add it. So your Heroku underscore API underscore key is available here. And now you have to give a Heroku app name. Do the same thing. You can call it whatever the app name you want. So we will call it the app name that was given. So go to your Heroku, go to the application, and this is the app name that I give. Copy it, paste it, and add it. So your Heroku app name and so app name can be anything. So let's just delete this, create the app name again. Need not be secure, remove that secure. So copy this and add it. So this part is done. So once that is done, go to your pipelines and set up the Bitbucket pipeline. So we have to set up this pipeline with this information. So I will share this information. This is the file we have to copy and paste. I will share this information with you. I'll share that file, and once that is done, it should be able to build this. So let's do that. So now you have to edit this file. I will give you this file. So make sure your image is 3.9.5, whatever your image is. So change it to your image. This is your branch. So mine is main branch. So I've kept it as main. So this remains the same. Change this to whatever you want. So in our case, it is test app. So change this to test app, as well as change this to test app. So once that is done, it is going to deploy to production, and whatever that environment is there. So deploy to production and tar name and debug equal to 2. Save this. Now you have to make a push. They will mention here that you have to make a push. Once that push is done, it should be able to run this. What we can do is git status. It will show that there is a change here. Git add Bitbucket pipeline, git commit pipeline updated, and git do a push to the main branch. Once the push is done, go to your repository. In your repository, go back here. You can close this, and you can see that your pipeline is available. Click on the pipeline at the left hand side, and you will see that it's in progress. So you can click there, and you will see all the process happening. So if you see the build and go to artifacts, it has artifacts, create a test app, and you will see that all this is successful. If it's green, it is successful. Go to deployment production, it will show you that it is downloading the artifact. So give it some time. It is going to take some time, and whenever it's not able to run something, you have all these, you can read So pip is downloading because it's not found, and then it's going to use the image, whatever that image is, and then it's running the container. So it's waiting for all this to finish. So you wait for some time, and you can keep scrolling down and see that, okay, this is not working. So your deployment has failed. You can check why it's failed, and the push rejected, failed to complete the Heroku failed, check the logs. So you can always check the logs. They will have a link here. So click that. It will show you that the logs failed, and that's because you're using static file app without having the root in the file system. And that's the reason uh, it's not running. So you can also see that collect static is not working. So let's run this command and see if it's working. So we have to fix this. So once we run this, we will see that it's not working. You see that static root must be added to the file system, which is fairly simple. Go to your settings, go to my site, go to this, go to settings, and do you see that static files is not there in your system? Static files URL is there, but the root is not given. So you have to copy that. So you can come here, put this static root and base directory and give a static file. Now save it and now run the same command again. My site manage.py collect static. Let's see if it's running. So it's going to take some time. So it's running very well. So what you can do it is git add everything and then do a git commit, add static file directory, and do a git push origin main or whichever branch you're working on. So this will take some time, and your push is completed with 4 local objects. Now you will see in your git repo, go to pipelines, you will see that this was failed, but there is another pipeline which was started. So click that, and it's saying that it's pulling the images. Let's see, it's going to take some time. We will check if there are any issues now. Your build is successful. Let's go to deployment, and it has different tabs. You can look at that. Wait for a while for it to load, and with that you can see everything that's happening there. Go to build. You can see the setup is still running. It's only 3 seconds. So let's just wait for it to complete. So it's pulling all the images, and now it's starting the app. It's installing all the requirements, pip, wheel, setup tools and everything. And then it's going to install all our requirements.txt file. Now it's doing static. So this is completed without any errors. Previously that's where it failed. So it was able to compress it, and now it's saying that deploy to Heroku. So the deployment is being done, and your deployment is successful, your run is successful. So you should be able to open your app. So click on this link. It will take some time for it to come up. So just wait, or if there is any errors, you can always do some kind of CLI. You can install the Heroku CLI application, or you can go here and you will see that whatever errors that you have will be loaded here. I think you can go to more, view logs, and you can see that it is waiting for things to be released. So now it's deployed. Let's see if this has fixed it. It's still taking some time. So it says that app has crashed, and The reason for that could be many things, so we have to figure out why it was not able to do it. So apparently the build succeeded. It's trying to run something. So let's just wait for some time for things to complete. After some debugging, I found out that Unicorn was not installed. So if you see, if you copy that command here, it's not working. So do a pip install gunicorn. So this will install the gunicorn for you. Make sure it's working. So it's saying that it's running the app. So make sure it's running it without any errors. Oh, now it's working. So this time do a pip freeze again and into your requirements file, because you have to add the gunicorn. When you do a git status, you have this modified git add git commit gunicorn, then do a git push to that branch. Now when we do this, it's again, you will notice that it's going to do another push here, and you have another status update, and this is the continuous integration that we are talking about. So now it's going to take some time. I'm going to pause my video. So now here the deployment is successful, but you still have to do some changes. So basically in your settings file, you have to add the allowed host. So you can do a simple star here so that everything works. Go back here, make sure that you can run it and everything is running smoothly. So let it load it, that your gunicorn is working well. So everything is working well. So go back here and do a git add git commit to make sure that you're committing your settings file updated, and then do a git push. Now this should trigger another run. So basically this is how the deployment works. So it's going to build and deploy many different things. So these two cases were successful, but there were some changes. Now let's wait for this build to complete and see if everything is working fine. Now let's go to pipelines and check the latest build. You can see that the build is successful, deployment is successful. So you can go and check what is the URL. So your URL will be here. This is your URL. Copy this URL and go and paste it here and enter. You will see that your application is working. So that's all you have to do, and you will have your own Heroku.com working, and this will be your application. So follow these steps and everything should work well. Good luck.